My name is Kyle Henry. I am from McKinney, Texas, originally from Chicago. Grew up in Apex, North Carolina. Kind of grew up there, moved to Pennsylvania where I went to college. Moved back to Chicago for a short period of time and ended up here in Texas.
My name is Natalie. I am originally from Willis, Texas, which is about 45 minutes north of Houston. Went to kindergarten through high school in Willis, Texas, and then whenever I graduated, I moved up to Denton to go to the University of North Texas, lived there for about 6 or so years, and then I met Kyle, and he moved me over to McKinney, which is where I am now.
I met Natalie, or I first saw Natalie when we were in a meeting at Progressive Insurance, and she was sitting across the table, and I was leading the meeting, and she had asked a couple of questions, but I had already kind of seen Natalie, so that was kind of our first impression. And
my first impression of Kyle was, that's an interesting question. I thought he had really pretty eyes, and I thought he was really cute, so I was actually really distracted during the meeting because I was hoping he was single. So I guess those are the two words that jump in my head first of my first impression of Kyle.
The first date went well. We went to Top Golf, and we just hung out, got to know each other, got to know we obviously met at work, so we hadn't had a lot of time to get to know each other. We just kind of knew that we had some interests, so we went to Top Golf, had a really good time. From there we got to talking.
I had never been there before, but I'd heard it was really fun, so he actually wanted to take me to Bob's Steak and Chop House, and I thought it'd be kind of awkward to sit across the table from someone and stare at each other over a nice dinner, not knowing what to talk about, so Top Golf seemed like a better, more interactive idea. So we went to Top Golf, and I think ended up staying there for a few hours and had dinner, and we had a few beers, and we learned about each other's families and each other and our backgrounds, and I probably looked pretty stupid because I don't golf at all, so maybe that's why he decided to keep things going. I don't know. Well, this is funny. I remember thinking Kyle had really nice calves. He wore shorts, and whenever he was golfing, I of course was like taking my chance to check him out here and there, and he had really muscular legs, so at that point I was able to kind of reconfirm that I didn't only think he was cute, but he was a good-looking guy.
Yeah. No, I think we had obviously an immediate connection, so we got to hang out. It was just real comfortable. We had a great time, talked about our families and our backgrounds, and we had a lot in common, so it was real easy to kind of talk about some of the things that were going on with us and our families and our lives, and we had a good time, so we had fun, and it was just real easy. We had a nice connection, and it just seemed natural. I don't think I ever questioned whether we wanted to go on a second date or not. It was just kind of easy and flowed, and we had a great time. Yeah, we're both, we both have two siblings. I have an older sister, Leslie, and a younger brother, Adam. So we, have two parents that have been together for a very long time. I'm not sure exactly how long, but I know it's probably 30 plus years for the both of us. So we both have had, traditional family styles, with, some good things and bad things. We both kind of went off to college. And we're separated from our families for a little bit. But we both really have strong connections to our families. you know, and have experienced a lot of the same stuff with our family life and, you know, school and, you know, kind of how we've been brought up with our families, just, you know, with two siblings. Natalie's got two brothers, and I have an older sister and a younger brother. So
talking about Kyle's family and my family, our families are made up, they're really similar. We both have two siblings, so I have two older brothers, and then Kyle is the middle of two siblings. We're all actually kind of separated in age around the same, so my brothers and I are all 2 years apart, and then Kyle and his siblings are between like a year and 2 or 3 years apart, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Both of our parents have been married for over 30 years. My parents just had their 34th wedding anniversary. So learning a little bit more about his family and the way he grew up and mine, we both had, you know, parents who loved us unconditionally and supported us. They provided for us whatever we needed, whatever we wanted to do. You know, they both put us through school to make sure that we got our education. And I think that overall, just, I don't know, we both have just really happy families. I mean, we both had things happen in our lives with our families that I think a lot of people do. I mean, we by no means have perfect families, but I think that that's what kind of builds you into the person that you become, and it builds a lot of character for you. So after meeting Kyle's family, I considered them family. As soon as I met him, I felt like his mom and dad, you know, would take me in like their own.
Natalie and I had talked about doing our trip to Durango, so that was something that we were going to do anyways, and we had the trip planned. So when I think I text AJ and just let her know, like, hey, I'm thinking about proposing. She said, oh, that's great, we'll definitely be in. So at that point I got to planning, you know, all the activities that we wanted to do. And I wasn't sure if we should do it on the rafting trip or the Jeep trip. The zip line was definitely out, so we were trying to figure that out. And you know, so the rafting, obviously, like Natalie said, it didn't seem like a great idea, but we did plan to do it on the Jeep tour because you know, the initial thought was, let's just drive up into the mountains, because I've been there, and I know that kind of the surreal atmosphere and the views that are kind of unforgettable. So I figured that would be a good environment and atmosphere to do it in. So we got to, you know, so as we were planning the weekend, we got to the rafting trip, and some of the rafting people were trying to convince me to do it during, you know, the rafting trip, but I stuck with the Jeep trip. We got kind of a plan together with AJ and Kevin. The kind of the key word, we didn't really have a route. We didn't really know exactly where we were going in the mountains. We just knew that we were going to rent the Jeep and we were going to take it up into the mountains and find the perfect spot. And we kind of had a keyword. So the keyword was the binoculars. So when I asked for the binoculars, that was my kind of key to Kevin and AJ to start, you know, taking some pictures and running some videos so we could have some footage. So the funny part was that plan kind of fell apart real quick when we were driving from Durango to Silverton, where we rented the Jeep, and we barely got there because Natalie was so freaked out with the mountains. So, you know, going into renting the Jeep and trying to figure out at that point what we were going to do, we kind of had to improvise, and we basically rented the Jeep and, you know, found like the first place we could, because I figured if we got all the way up to the top of the mountains, by then she would have been so frustrated and so upset. So we got with the Jeep guy. He told us a good waterfall to find. It was very short, so, you know, we Jeeped for about 8 hours. Did the proposal about an hour into it, and that allowed for the next 7 hours to be enjoyable.
So one of the, I guess, interesting parts is, as we're like getting up to the spot that I think we're taking a picture, Kyle's like kind of like dragging behind me, and I can't really figure out, like, I will say I started kind of thinking like, what's okay, like I kind of had this moment of like, what are you doing? And I remember, and you actually see it in the video, I like turn and I saw his hand, like I saw his hand in his pocket, and I didn't think anything, so I keep walking.
It's beautiful.
And then as he walks up and he turns, and I like am turning to turn around for the picture, is whenever he got down on one knee.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I think I asked her, if she would marry me, or
I remember.
and I don't think that she responded right away.
Kyle said, well, we made the trip and I've got to ask. And then that's whenever he got on one knee and said, will you marry me? And I think I screamed or...
Yeah, you said that you said yes, but I was down on my knee for probably like 2 minutes, and I don't think you ever said yes. And then I think I asked.
I think a kiss is saying yes.
Yeah. And then, so leading up to that, I just remember it was very, my heart was racing. I didn't know exactly if that was the right spot or how I was going to do it. Once I figured out this was a perfect spot, I just wasn't sure exactly, I'm a very detailed and planned out person. So it was very, anxious moment for me to try to figure out, is this the right time? How should I do it? So we just kind of winged it, and it ended out perfect. And after I asked, she said yes. After we both kind of cried about it, and AJ and Kevin were both there, and they were able to get it on photo. So we had video and some pictures to kind of share the moment and kind of capture it. And from there, Natalie and AJ kind of embraced and were able to share that moment, and then we just kind of took in the scenery and the environment and the atmosphere and kind of captured all that. Yeah, I just want to thank everyone that's here and is able to share this moment with Natalie and I. Everyone's here because they have shared some experiences with us, and hopefully we'll continue to share those experiences with us in the future. And everyone that's here has obviously played a role in helping us either meeting or growing up or forming us into who we are today. So thanks for your support. Thanks for being here. A lot of people have traveled pretty far, so thanks for just spending this time celebrating with us, our marriage and our future.
And I want to say thank you to all of my close friends that are in the wedding with us. It means the world to me that you have taken the time out of your busy lives to be a part of what's going to be one of the most amazing and special days of our lives. So I can't thank you enough.